Good afternoon, Commissioners. Part of the general meeting, the preliminary matters for your review. Start with the written decisions in your packets from the August 5th hearing date. Take a chance, if you haven't already, to review to make sure it's consistent with what your recollection is of the discussion. Let us know if you have any changes, modifications. Otherwise, we'll send these out today, after you've approved. I don't know if we need to take a vote. I don't know if we traditionally taking a vote officially, but.
So we typically take a vote. So, after reviewing the resolutions, I have not found any mistakes. So I'm going to move that we accept them. So I'm a vote in favor that we accept them.
I also approve and vote to accept.
Approve and vote to accept.
Approval of acceptance.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm thinking through what makes sense for the future. Like send it, make it. I mean, honestly, everything we can't even email and send it to you and say, like, unless you have object, like, let us know if you object by whatever date. If not,
Yeah,
we'll
we can
send
do
it
that
out.
too, especially if it can help them get them out quicker.
That's my
Yeah.
vision, because that'd get people ready to go. So this does hold up. So if maybe in the future we'll just send them out as a group, and then
We'll just vote as a whole. And we get
I guess vote, or I'm thinking even, because I doubt, I'm sure you trust me, and I doubt you've ever had changes. So like,
Yeah.
but I want to go through the formality because it's technically your decision, not mine. So like, I want to be able to say you've seen it. So like, if you don't object by whatever date,
Yeah.
then we will assume it's a yes. I don't know. We're thinking through those logistics, but maybe a vote would be better just to, once we get to 3 or a majority, maybe 4. Once we get to the majority, then it would feel good. Or I guess whoever's part of the majority decision, so whatever, it's, because you're writing it on behalf of whoever decided it, so
Yeah.
that makes sense.
So we can do Park Avenue during the general
Yeah.
meeting too.
I just,
Go off record for this part.
I think it's, I guess.
No, this will still be on the
Keep it on
record.
the record. Yeah.
I also just want to point out, though, since we only have 4 board members, if a resolution was done with an alternate, then that alternate also needs to approve those if we're going to be doing those via email. So you know that, but just put it in reminding.
Thank you. Yeah, so on the general meeting docket, you see the miscellaneous case, BMZA PL 25-101. This was 1316 Park Avenue. This was a application for a variance to allow a fence to be within the setback. And after a review of the materials, we determined it was outside of the setback area, so it did not need a variance. It's going to pull it up so we can practice showing this. 101. Oh, video. Is that your video?
It is. He
Oh.
sent me a video.
Oh, is your for your reference, this site plan on the screen, yeah, well, I'll reorient you, was showing it here, but there was no distance, so the zoning office didn't know where it was going to be. But once we asked for more information, it was more than 10 feet off the setback, and so when it's off of the setback, then it can be the normal building height, which is in R8, I think, is 35 feet or.
Yeah, 35 feet for interior lot.
Yeah. So here, because it's not within the setback, then you can just do it. If it's within the setback, then only 6 feet by right for a fence. So here we got the information and got video. So I guess I don't know if we need a vote, but maybe for just formality's sake, if you vote to confirm that the variance is not necessary.
Yeah, so after hearing what you guys have, your investigation is clear that this does not require a vote by the Board of Municipal and Zoning Appeals. So I'm fine with, sending you back.
Great. And then, yeah, my vision is hopefully I'll get you guys lunch in the future. And going forward, we have a proper pre-meeting, which we'll discuss the cases. But there's 3 cases on the docket for you today, all by the same applicant. Obviously, you have to hear from the applicant on the record. We think the issues are that it's a non-conditional use approval for a neighborhood commercial establishment. This is allowed when there's a property that had a history of, it's been so long since I've done the zoning cases. Wow. I gotta read this. I gotta refresh my recollection. I wasn't gonna wing it. No,
residential in its construction or has prior zoning approval.
Right, and so we confirmed the prior, and so all three, we have confirmed there was prior zoning approval?
Yeah, it's right here in the comments.
Thank you.
Or wait.
Yeah. So for Payson Street, there was a use card, so that's something, that's history there. For Federal Street, no records, other use card, first commercial, so.
Yeah.
And the other one,
Thinking federal, and that one is,
oh, yeah, so all three have a history of commercial use. We've identified, I think the applicant noted the use was office. The question we've taken judicial notice of is that the applicant has other healthcare clinics in her portfolio or in her business. So that'd be the question. If it's being used as a healthcare clinic, then it would not be eligible as a neighborhood commercial establishment. So one thing, if you care to ask, it would be to get a sense of what the use is and then maybe even put conditions on to have teeth that there won't be operations as a healthcare clinic.
Certainly. Is the applicant here yet? Okay. It's not 1 o'clock, but
Oh, wait till one officially.
yeah.
this one.
Well,
And we're ready to go.
Didn't see.
okay.
I think it's rolled right into it. I forget, did Becky?
That's like a spill.
Just like
I have a
welcome
written,
to
yeah, I have a
the-
written document to speak.
Hear ye, hear ye.
Let's see. Mr. Court Reporter, are you good to keep going?
Yep.
Sweet. Right. Good afternoon, everybody. For the record, I'm Justin Williams. Welcome to the September 2nd docket of 1 p.m. for the Board of Municipal and Zoning Appeals. My name is Justin Williams. I'm serving as the interim director of the BMZA. The board members here this afternoon are Victor Clark, Leland Shelton, who's the chairman of the board, David Marcosi, and Liz Cornish. We ask that everyone in the audience, in the gallery, turn off your cell phones. If you need to speak privately with another person, please do that in the lobby or the hallway. When it's your turn to talk, please introduce yourself, spell your name for the court reporter, and take an oath before giving testimony. If you're not already, please use a sign-in sheet to the table to the left to provide your information for our records. The board will be voting on your appeals today. We generally will be voting on your appeals today, but that vote is not final by law. And in the zoning code, we are required to prepare a written document called a resolution, which requires drafting and review. This process takes several weeks. We will send it to you by email, and if you're the appellant, you will be able to access through the SLO system. I think we're ready to go, Mr. Chair.
Yes. So I'm going to call these cases together. I'm going to make sure we get information about each individual address so we can make a determination because we will vote on them separately. So now I'm calling cases BMZA 25098, 25099, and 25100. South 222 South Payson Street, 2306 East Federal Street, 2304 East Federal Street. To use the properties as a neighborhood commercial establishment office requiring conditional use approval. First, we will hear from planning and staff.
When you're ready.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Justin Walker, Department of Planning. Regarding the three appeals, 250098, 99, and 100, all three are for a neighborhood commercial establishment use for an office. All three properties do have a history of non-residential use, making them eligible for the neighborhood commercial establishment. Planning did just want to stress the definition of an office, which is an establishment that engages in processing, manipulation, or application of business information or professional expertise, whether or not its services are open to the public. And a healthcare clinician cannot be on site providing healthcare services or seeing patients at an office. That would transfer the use to a healthcare clinic, which is not permitted as a neighborhood commercial establishment. So for the office NCE, planning recommends approval for all three appeals.
So first, I want you guys to just give me a little big background about.
I think we need the name, I guess, it's sworn.
First, you need to be sworn by our court reporter.
Do you swear or affirm under the penalty of perjury that the answers that you give and the statements that you make will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yeah.
Are you Andrea?
Yes.
Okay, and your name, sir?
Keith Lewis.
Okay, thanks. Thank you.
You guys may be seated. So I'll call all three applications and hearings together. And so what we're going to do is I want to hear from you guys generally who you are, why we're here today. And also I want you to tell me what each individual office use will be for 222 South Payson and for both properties on Federal Street. I may interrupt you as you speak to ask questions, or maybe somebody from one of the board members will, just to get a better understanding of what you plan to use these properties for. Please, when you speak, please ensure that you push the button on your microphone so that it turns green so that we will pick it up. So thank you for coming to speak with us today. I would love to hear more about your project.
Okay, I can start, but I was trying to look up the pre-existing approval that I came before you guys before in 2019, and pretty much just doing the same thing with those buildings. Initially, that building was my family grocery store. We turned it to office spaces. We rent them out to whoever. Sometimes it's co-op, sometimes it's a private person, sometimes it's a business. We just rent it out as office spaces. But if it's a corner store, we will rent it out as a corner store. If it's a hair salon, we will rent it out as a hair salon. So we just kind of market it to whomever. Like, sometimes I use a space to store documents, sometimes I don't. But like at this point, we've outgrown, if you look up 2641 Ashland Avenue as an office space, it's no more office spaces. So instead of me renting office spaces, I get buildings and office spaces, or like another building we have on Emerson Avenue, it's the county, we're gonna make it like a hair salon and office spaces or something, but sell like booths. So it's just more of a proactive, not really reactive. Like, who's going to be there? I don't know. I'm going to run them out. So,
do you have any restrictions on the type of tenants you will rent your properties to?
I mean, clearly he had no healthcare facility, so clearly I would rent it to a healthcare professional or a healthcare facility. If that makes sense.
My
You gotta press the button.
I plan on utilizing to store documents from other businesses. One room, like one office in the building, and the other one I plan on renting out. Someone reached out to me about did you tag and title, just whoever, like just general office space. That makes sense.
For clarity, for the record, do you know which property, could you say which property, or is it all three that you're intending to use for your storage?
Yes.
This is just
Not just for storage.
not just for-
He's saying for his business, he would use it for storage.
Yeah.
But
Right, so do you know which, can just,
2304-23. It's
Yeah.
two buildings. We just filed to get them combined, but 2304,
Okay.
2306 would be one place I would use for my personal, along with renting out the other, like maybe,
I have a question about, you brought it up, the former property, Pixie, what is it? You said
so if you look at, you want the use number?
26, I see 2019-352, is that 2641 Ashland Avenue?
Yep, the 56311.
Are you guys familiar with the business Pixie Cares LLC? And what is that business?
So that's my mom. So it's after my mom. So pretty much they do stuff in the community. They on Thursdays we feed the community sometimes. Pretty much like just helping the community, honestly. Like, I don't want to call it a rec center, but she just helped the community with it, store records. Pretty much, that's it. But that's what she did in the area. I have an office in there where I store my stuff from my properties that I own. Like, instead of having all the keys at my house, I have a box in there with the keys, the deeds, the things. But now it's all in my basement because we rent out to a girl that's doing coding or something. She does, I don't
building
know.
code.
But yeah, it's all in my basement now.
So businesses that are registered with the Maryland Behavioral Health Administration, do we consider them healthcare clinics?
Yes.
Okay, so that's considered a healthcare clinic too. The reason I asked that, because so technically that would be sort of in violation of your
What we doing?
your permit.
That's not what we intended to do.
other way.
The other way, make sure it's green. Just keep it on. You just keep it on.
Oh, that's not what we intended to do.
The reason I brought it up is because you said we want to do the same thing we're doing at the other one.
Not like this. I'm saying like we have an office in there, but we go out. We do other stuff like in the communities. But I'm saying like it's more of an outreach than an internal. Like we go out. Like people go out. Like I go out. Like I
But is there any treatment giving on the premises, any therapy, any sessions like that? Okay. And so if we were today to put restrictions sort of on your approval, if we were to approve it, would you, I want to make sure that you guys are clear that we're going to find ways that we can put it into our approval, that we're going to place restrictions on the type of uses, particularly healthcare and healthcare clinic uses. One, to protect us, and also to protect you guys too.
I would say, I'm sorry to cut you, but I think that was the wording that was on the initial one. Use building as an office space per BMZ to approve November 19th conditions not to be used as a healthcare clinic. So I feel like that's always been the verbiage that's been in there, and that is in it. Like that is the verbiage that is in there, and that was in there additionally.
But you have a healthcare clinic in that one.
But is that really that if we don't see people? And I think that's why they said the office space.
That's why it's kind of
They
dangerous.
store records there with no one being.
I guess just the posture is that our staff has reviewed the records and we see this, and there's not been an investigation by our SIU team that might happen. So I guess at this point, all we have is the information about the UNO for the Pixie Cares LLC, and that they are registered with the Behavioral Health Administration, but we have not done any investigation, to my knowledge, about what activities occur. So that would need to happen officially, I think, for there to be a violation.
Right, yeah, so just want to be clear, there's no violation.
No, I understand. That's why I say, like, I physically, I go out. Like I said, like, for me, it's like, why do I have to sit at Needs to do stuff if I own a whole building, I have an office space? Because I have no more space. So I don't mind, I do it, but I'm just saying, like, at some point, like, I don't be violating your stuff. I want my license.
Okay.
Ma'am, do you remember calling the BMZA a couple months ago to ask what was going on with your case?
I'm sure. I always call.
And you spoke to me, and you told me that you needed more office space for virtual therapists.
No, I said I can do virtual therapy. I said, but sometimes I go to Needs and I will do my therapy there. But I said, if I do therapy, it is definitely virtual. I don't have to physically sit in the office to do it. I can sit in my car and do it. But will somebody rent the office? Do I know if they're renting the office for a day, what they're doing? No, it's like a daily rental.
Well, like a WeWork, kind of a shared space, like you have desks and computers.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I understand what you're saying. I guess they might do virtual therapy. Like one of my friends might say, "Can I borrow your office for the day?" I'll be like, "Go ahead." Do I know that she's doing therapy? No, but is she? It's like I get what you're saying. Like I'm a therapist. I do offer virtual services, absolutely. But do I always sit in my office and do it? No, I can sit in my house and do it. I can sit outside. I can sit.
But is the business registered is the address that the business is registered the address?
So the business address right now is registered at my house. So I use it as my house, but it's a private practice. It's not a I don't operate as a OMHC. I can operate as a private clinician, but I can do it out of my house. So my business right now technically is at my house.
What is your business?
I'm Randall Therapeutic.
What is it?
Randall Therapeutic. So it should be at my house, or it might have an office for storage at 2641, but I do it at my house. Or like I said, I'll go out.
As a proprietor of the business, you say that you rent it out and you don't know what they're doing, but it's kind of on you to know what they're doing, because if they are giving virtual therapy when they are renting space from you, that violation is on you, it's not on them. So it's really important that you know what they're doing.
Really, I can say that in the lease or the daily rental. What are you doing? Can you write what you're doing or tell me what you're doing? But I don't know. I think even when I go to co-op places, they don't really ask me. I just kind of log in. Or even when I go to the library and I use like the library room sometimes, like they don't really ask me what I'm doing. Like, and I'm not being smart. I'm serious.
No,
like,
I understand.
We can all have an Enoch Pratt-free library thing, and like.
With knowing this information moving forward, I'll definitely be selective on who utilizes space. But like I said, for the most part, I personally plan to utilize space.
Yeah.
And the few people that came to me was tagging tied. I just want to rent space out.
Yeah, I think
and utilize the space for my.
Yeah, and our intent here is to protect you all, right? So we might put in the condition that, whether it's a daily use or a contracted lease, that maybe sometime in the, I'm assuming people that are using in daily use have to register or something of that nature, maybe just like logging the activities and making it clear that what activities you're not allowed to use your offices for. And then that way that person can opt out if they're going to use it for therapy, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if it's you or if it's somebody offering services just like in a co-working space. that's really towing a line that could lead to a violation for you all. And so I think that that's the main thing that we want to get clarity on and come up with some conditions that, one, allow us to approve it because we see that it is a use that we can approve, but then also to protect you all, because if there was an investigation and it was learned that people were using your space for some type of healthcare purposes, that would be on you as the landlord of the property, as well as their registered business. Does that sound right? Okay.
Understood. And so then I guess then, like, when you say, for example, like, when we think about, like, the other businesses, are businesses allowed to be attached? So, like, for example, if I have a home that does do people, but of course, like, I don't want to keep records in that house. I store them outside of that house because I don't want the tenants in the office. There is a small office in the house, but I don't want other people's, like, I guess, information there.
So you're storing healthcare records.
Yes, I will.
In one of those things. So I think that's one of those things that I think we just need to get legal advisement on. Is the storage of healthcare records considered a use of a healthcare clinic, even if services aren't provided on site?
My take is probably it's the board's decision. I think we can confirm, but I don't think there's probably been any regulation or.
Because, like, you can look at 912 North, look at 912 North Linwood. That's registered and used actually as a residential facility. That's mine. And it's under, I believe, Randall Therapeutic Services. However, I don't store those records for that business in that house, nor do I have, like, if you look up, like, 833 North Lakewood, that's my property, too. I don't have those keys at my house, or I'll store them, like, just separately. I just try to have space so I can have a home and a...
Yeah, so I'm going to read the definition of office from the zoning code. It says, office is defined as an establishment that engages in the processing, manipulation, or application of business information or professional expertise, whether or not it offers services to the public. So, judging by that, storing, sort of records would fit in that. And a healthcare clinic is defined as a facility for the examination and treatment of individuals for an outpatient basis by one or more physicians, dentists, chiropractors, physical therapists, or other licensed healthcare practitioners. So when we're looking at the difference between a healthcare clinic and an office, it really goes to, are there health practitioners in there providing some sort of services to clients? And if there are not, great, because they can't be there. As far as office, you can store information, you can process information, you can have all sort of quote unquote back office functions or administrative functions related to maybe a healthcare, but as long as there's no services provided to clients on the premises, it's not a healthcare clinic.
And that would include virtual therapy because
Yes.
that person is providing healthcare on the premise.
Yes, so virtual therapy is also would be considered providing services, so that would be a healthcare clinic. So if we were to approve these conditional uses today, we're going to make sure it's clear in the resolution and in our approval that it's for office only, and what's approved, what can be done there, what can't. So just to make sure we have clarity on it. I think we have pretty good clarity right now about what they want to do.
Yeah, I think the applicant though raises a good point of, if I'm a person and I'm like, however you book, whether it's like go online or send you an email, what information are you collecting from people that are asking to book your office for services, let's say for day use?
I really don't ask. It's more just like daily use. Like I said, like if you were to go to a library and say, can I rent this room for the day and use your Wi-Fi? It might be like, okay, it's $50 for the use and you have access to the Wi-Fi for the next 8 hours or something like that. It's like, not saying like there was no like background check.
Sure. And that's fine. I think it's more.
That's the answer I can give, or example I can give.
Yeah.
If I were to walk into a library and use a space because they have Wi-Fi, if I were to walk into FedEx and print something because they want to print, I don't know if they check to see what you're printing, but I'm just saying it's kind of like just the use of it. I just pay. I want 20 prints. I pay for the 20 prints, and I think, there's a limit of what you can control the people using the space for, but ultimately, if what you're applying for the conditional use, I think what we have to do, because of the line that we have to draw between office and healthcare facility, is that the condition would be you have to figure out a way
to ask them what they're using it for, or include a clause in the rental agreement or the registration that says the following activities are not allowed to occur. I think that probably would be the easiest, yeah. And so just noting that when you're registering folks to use the office, whether it's for a day or whether it's for a longer term lease, letting them know what activities aren't allowed. And then that way we don't put your conditional use or your business of being the operator of this office space in jeopardy, because ultimately it would come back on you, right?
That's my intent to definitely ask, because I'm a little curious who coming.
Sure. And I mean,
personally,
yeah, and I
right,
think,
so-
yeah, whether it's you ask or if you just have them sign something that just makes sure that you know that you've communicated the list of restricted activities. And then just being knowledgeable too, are there other things besides healthcare clinics that would require conditional use so that if they leased office space to certain uses, that might put them in that same gray area. So I can't, the one example they said was like a hair salon. Is that something that has different approval? I'm not really sure.
But see, for hair salons, I know because we had one before on the other building. That's something I would have to come to you before to change the use. So initially,
Yeah.
like when I had a corner store, I came for it to be a corner store. Then when I wanted to be a hair salon, I came and I requested for it to be a hair
Okay.
salon. Like each time I've used it for
Sure.
something other than what it's already zoned for, I've always had to come before the board, or it would be like not maybe make it to you guys because the
Sure. Yeah, it could be
would-
approved by the zoning
like
administrator.
to the thing, yeah. So it just kind of has been depending on like what it is when I'm trying to change it from one to the other versus even a half of the building or a whole of the building and what was it used for. Like I had to do like a history search one time, like whatever.
Yep.
But like I said, for the most part, I can think on the top of my head, a tax, one office space we utilize for taxes. One person inquired about doing some type of driving school or driving services. So,
Yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, I would just add to the conditional uses that because it's being operated as, co-working space, that in, the form or whatever that the person signs out, they list their restricted uses. Because then you put the onus
Yes.
back on them, right?
I mean, yeah, that's fine. That's why I say like if you look at the one from 56311, that's pretty much what it said with the condition not to be used. That was pretty much.
I mean, these are our recommendations to the
Understood.
applicant right now, right? So,
Yes.
just to make sure that the properties get used the way it should be. On our side, for our approval of this, I guess I would ask you guys, and is it even necessary to add a condition to this? Because if it's getting used as anything other than office as explained today and as the zoning code defines, then it's not acceptable if it's getting used to anything else in office. So I don't really know if there's even a need to add.
I agree. I think it's the board's your decision to put conditions or not. I think we can take judicial notice, and Amanda here has pulled up even the principal office location for Randall Therapeutic Services LLC, which is one of the subject properties at 222 South Payson Street. That's no evidence that they'll be conducting healthcare type uses, but to your point, it's already not allowed. So the condition, this is where there is gray area on even, I suspect, virtual
That's
storage.
exactly right.
You can, that's the board's decision on how you want to interpret that
Yeah.
provision. I don't think there's guidance. I don't think there's been case law on this.
Yeah, I think because there hasn't been guidance and because there isn't case law, I would prefer, and it's kind of a new area and sort of worth, eventually sort of identifying virtual therapy as the same thing as providing
Right.
outpatient
that's a
therapy.
different, yeah.
It falls within the definition of healthcare clinic.
Sure. So in that way, we may not need to place conditions because if they already have no healthcare clinic, that falls within the definition. Okay.
Yeah, so how would you like us to do this? Vote with them individually?
Probably individually, if you feel even if information about the properties based on what's in the record or from testimony.
I think just to clarify and recap, of three properties, the uses that you're asking for are the same for three properties. You don't imagine the activities at one property being substantially different from activities other. Okay,
right.
great. So we can vote on.
Any other questions?
And does it matter that all three, once it's combined, it'll still be fine? Because I think we're going to change. I filed the paperwork with Ms. Flannery to get the Federal Street to change to one address versus two. So right now, that doesn't matter or does it matter?
So there's a lot consolidation application in with Don Flannery.
It's actually one building.
Yeah.
It's already one
Somehow.
building, it's just.
The
The uses should merge?
lots.
Do the uses merge?
I guess
Or
an
do I
abundance
need
of,
to do one?
an abundance of caution is probably just approve for each property,
Okay.
and then the consolidation will go through, and then
We'll see
it'll probably
that
be
both-
easier so
yeah.
that there won't be any confusion that it's only
Yeah.
half the building. So they're probably better to have all three approvals if that's what the board
I agree.
desires.
My only suggestion is that you do have an ironclad document that's signed by each one of your tenants, whether they're healthcare or not, that protects you against having them do something that you know because of the conversations we've had.
Okay.
And the documentation that we could send you about what is and isn't doable in a conditional area to protect your companies,
Okay.
okay?
Okay, having heard testimony from the applicant today, and after reviewing the evidence submitted in support of their application for 222 South Payson Street, I'm inclined to approve the conditional use for neighborhood commercial office with small conditions. I do not believe that by having an office here at this location, the negative effects will be above and beyond what negative effects we should expect for any office that is a neighborhood commercial use. I would require that the applicant have any tenants of the office spaces sign leases or agreements not to use their space for a healthcare clinic or any other non-allowable uses at the properties. And I'm a yes for the application.
I'm also a yes for the application as explained by the chair.
Also a yes.
Yes.
Moving on to 2306 East Federal Street, the same logic applies, really. I've heard their testimony today, and we've reviewed the evidence submitted in support of that application. And I do not believe that the establishment of a neighborhood commercial office use here would have negative consequences above and beyond what we should expect for an office neighborhood commercial use any other place in the R8 zoning district. If the applicant will be using these offices for short-term rentals, I will require that the applicant have their tenants agree not to use their office spaces for non-allowable uses. And I'm a yes for the application.
I'm also yes.
Also a yes.
Yes.
Moving on to 20.
Sorry, maybe I missed it in the first one, I guess. Did the board members you agree to the conditions that the chair?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, sorry.
Moving on to 2304 East Federal Street. After hearing today's testimony and reviewing the evidence submitted on behalf of the applicant, I do not believe that the establishment of a neighborhood commercial office use here will have negative consequences that will be above and beyond what we should expect in an office space, office use anywhere else in the R8 zoning use. If the applicant is going to rent these out, the office spaces out on a short-term basis to tenants, I would ask that the applicant have their tenants or subtenants agree not to use the space for non-allowable uses. I'm a yes for this application.
Also yes, explained by the chair.
Also a yes.
Yes, with the conditions.
Thank you, guys.
Yes.
That was the first one.
That was the first.
Oh, all right. I'm like, wait, that hit the federal. I'm just making sure it's a bunch of addresses in my brain.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Yeah.
And we are.
Amanda Tucker.
I was talking to Roxana.
You're off the record.
Yeah.
No, there is closing.